Alrighty, folks. Good morning, and welcome back to the Mushing Alaska podcast's coverage of the 2023 Iditarod. We're your hosts, Brendan and Sean, and we're just gonna go right into things here. I'm gonna pull up, let's see, Koyuk, and take us there. Zoom, 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 zoom. Stop. All right, and so as we're at it here. Ryan Reddington is in first place by a narrow margin. He's got Pete Kaiser chasing him down. And then Richie just left Koyuk. And I think he's just kind of waiting there to see if anything happens. Any mistakes are made, if weather comes into play, things like that. When Reddington left Koyuk, he left 27 minutes prior to Pete Kaiser. And as you can see here on the map, Reddington's at 8:57 and Kaiser is at 8:53. So 27 minutes is now down to 4 miles. And if we were to look live on their tracker, quick update, Reddington's at 8:61 and Kaiser's at 8:58. So 3 miles is now the difference. Pete's clearly running faster dogs right now. Sean, take over.
Yeah, dude, he just made up a bunch of time. Uh, so firstly, his run speed to across the Norton Sound was 10 minutes faster, which isn't crazy but faster, but it's not that long of a run either. So 10 minutes, boom, there's 10 minutes that he picks up on the lead, and then he gets to Koyuk and he rests 9 minutes less than Ryan Reddington. So boom, now you've made up 19 minutes just on run time and rest time. And then we're looking at the speed that he's going is a full mile an hour. I've been watching this tracker now for it pings a few times, and each time it's pinged at the speed. It's been Pete going 1 mile an hour faster than Ryan. So it'll be interesting to see. We talked about the strategy. It looks like, they ran from Shaktuluk to Koyuk, and they took a short 3.5 hour rest. And now, from Koyuk, let's see, what's Koyuk is mile 8:27, and White Mountain is 9:21. So, like, in the past, in my past Iditarods, people would run straight from Koyuk to White Mountain. Um, it'd be a pretty big play to do that, and I don't know. I don't know. I think if they run the same schedule, then yeah, Pete can win this thing and maybe is even the favorite to win it. But you've seen in the past slower teams, and this is almost a guarantee. It seems like every year in this race is that the best dog team doesn't always really win the race. And Pete looks like he has one of the better dog teams, but that doesn't necessarily mean just because he's running faster, it doesn't mean that he's necessarily just gonna win. Maybe Ryan Reddington's gonna be a little bit more bold with his schedule. Maybe Pete's gonna be more conservative. I don't know, but man, everything's pointing to this lead that Ryan has just continuing to dwindle, and we still got a lot of miles left, over 100 miles, or well, over 120 miles left of the race, and we're getting into this mandatory 8 hour rest here at any moment. Or not any moment, but by the end of the day. So, yeah, dude, this is sick. Just a reminder, the closest ever finish in the Iditarod was between, I believe, uh, uh, Dick Mackey and the other 5-time Iditarod champion. I can't even remember his name, but it was. Haven't had coffee yet, but this race has been won by 1 second and Jeff King beat DD Johnro, I believe, 1 year by 2 minutes. And, I could see us having a single digit amount of minutes between Kaiser and Reddington by the time they get to Nome. We'll see. We'll see what happens, and we'll see. You know, obviously, I think Pete has the stronger, faster team. I think that doesn't. I don't want to belittle Ryan's team. He has a strong team still, and I think the biggest variable is going to be this: what are they going to do when they get to Elam? Stop or go?
Yeah, and honestly, based on what I'm seeing, I think that it's going to be a quick rest in Elam and then head over to White Mountain. And maybe it's just a snack or something. I think that based on what we talked about in our last video, Reddington has consistently been running longer runs and doing less breaks, less rests, right? I feel like Pete has more in the bag. So like Pete could go real short in Elam. I don't think Reddington would be I don't know. That's just my own speculation. But I still think that that 10-hour run that he did into Unalakleet has to, we're now a day later on that. And I feel like it's going to start showing up. It's going to show up at a right time with White Mountain right around the corner. Um, but there is that. The other thing I wanted to do is circle in on Koyuk. You've got Matt Hall there, and he just had, what was my note on him? He had the second fastest time into Koyuk. So Pete Kaiser was 5 hour 48 minutes. Matt Hall was 5 hour 54 minutes. And then Reddington was 5 hour 58. So Matt Hall's looking strong right now. The team is performing well. He could maybe do something to catch up to Richie and keep it close there. So I wanted to mention that. And then Matt Thaler is coming on strong as well. He is now in 5th place, and he is the next musher into Koyuk. And breathing down his back is Eddie Burke. Now, I really wanted to point something out here, and I know we don't have a lot of time for the sake of Sean. He's got to get off to work, but Eddie Burke and Hunter Keefe have been going head-to-head here for this Rookie of the Year match. Now, Hunter Keefe had the fastest time into Shaktoolik, sub 5 hour, 4 hours, 57 minutes. He beat Eddie Burke to Shaktoolik by 17 minutes. But here's where I'm wondering what's going on. Hunter proceeded to take a 6 hour and 16 minute break at Shaktoolik, while Eddie took a 4 hour and 21 minute break. So Eddie's now caught back up and has put a little bit of distance between him and Hunter. But it just made me scratch my head. Hunter has consistently had one of the fastest times to the various checkpoints, these last few checkpoints. Yet he took a longer rest there that seemed unnecessary almost. I don't have any intel on that. I don't know if you have any speculation on that, Sean, but I just wanted to bring that point up about how Eddie's kind of recaptured that lead that in the rookie head-to-head race.
Yeah, man. I don't know what happened there. That's kind of surprising. I mean, Hunter right now, he's going freaking he's going 11 miles an hour on the Norton Sound. So, he still has the speed, and I mean, shit, he could maybe still catch Eddie, who's got maybe a slightly slower team. But honestly, man, if Hunter's going 10 miles an hour, wow, I don't know. We'll see. I think that rookie race for Rookie of the Year is not quite over. Um, but yeah,
Definitely
man,
not.
I no, no, and
And there was
Richie's got his
something
commanding. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say there was something cool that I saw between. They have a video on the Iditarod Insider, which was just footage of Eddie and Hunter, and they both were getting interviewed. I think this was outside of Unalakleet or at Unalakleet, and Eddie was talking about how Hunter had helped him by, Eddie lost his team and Hunter gave him a lift for a little while. And so he like was acknowledging the appreciation there. And then I guess what Hunter was saying is that they've kind of formed this like camaraderie. And yes, they're trying to win Rookie of the Year, but it sounds like they're becoming good friends in the process, which is pretty cool. I mean, we also talk about the future of mushing. These are two young guys, so it's kind of good to see that. Um, Apparently, Eddie was giving him some tips on feeding his dogs. That was really helpful to Hunter. So, again, just I think that's great that you see that. It can be easy to kind of get lost in beating someone and maybe in the process not being, like having that sportsmanship and that respect. But it sounds like they do respect each other, which is kind of nice to see.
Yeah, man. I that's what it's all about, and you know, pretty pretty cool to see those guys. Potentially you're gonna see a lot more of them here in the next decade. I also want to point out that you mentioned this yesterday, and I'm gonna end on this. Is Pete and Richie? They both draft two dogs in Koyak, and so there's your answer to your question you had yesterday. Is do you think these guys are gonna kind of start to leave a couple dogs so that they can, you know, have quicker rests and quicker or like get care of their dogs faster and have a lighter sled and their chores be quicker and just kind of you know uh take the core of their team down the trail. And look, you see, this is the proof. More dogs doesn't mean more speed. And Pete Kaiser with eight dogs is chasing down Ryan Reddington, and so it looks like those are his eight all stars that he's taken to Elam. So excited to see where this race is going to be when I get off work here in 11 hours.
Yeah, yeah, it'll be fun to see where we're at here with our next video. I'm sure we'll have a much clearer picture of where we're at heading into White Mountain, or maybe they'll already be at White Mountain at that point. Um, but yeah, we'll just go ahead and end this so you can go ahead and get out and get to work on time, or hopefully not too late already. And
Yeah, I'll be
until
late, but
next
it's
time,
all
guys,
good.
thanks for watching.